Good evening. Good evening. This is Valerie McDowell, your writer, editor, author, book coach, and consultant. We are here for a special edition of Write It Out Wednesday, where we bring you back to the top of your writing list. And for those that don't know me, I help writing and time challenge clients get their stories told, their books published, and their dreams fulfilled. And since about 2019, I've helped well over 40 authors go from idea to published in as little as 3 months. And so a couple of months ago, during Black History Month, we had a Black and Lovely short story contest in which we had a number of submissions from people from all over the country submitting their short story. And tonight we have our winner joining us here tonight. And so some of the stories dealt with freedom, dealt with progress, dealt with joy, but they were all amazing. And so we're just excited that people are joining us, wanting to be a part of writing their stories. And so without any further ado, I'm going to bring in our winner of the Black and Lovely short story contest, Miss Elouise Woodard. So can we get a round of applause for Miss Elouise Woodard joining us here? And we're so excited to have her here. And Miss Elouise, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're located? Oh, we have a little technical difficulty. Yes, go ahead and share with us a little bit about you and where you're located.
I'm sorry, Valerie.
Okay, I can hear you now. Can you go?
I'll just start because yes, I'm Woodard. I'm from.
And like you gotta love technology.
But you're going
Like
in and
whenever
out.
you get ready to get started, it's like all kinds of things want to happen. But we're here for you, Miss Elouise. Go ahead.
And now I can't hear you at all. I don't.
Okay, you're going a little in and out. Do you have another device
I'll just
on?
introduce myself.
Okay, there you go.
Louise Woodard. I'm from Newark, New Jersey, but currently live in Central New Jersey. I'm a manager at a Section 8 property. Yeah, there's some issues. I do apologize. I have two beautiful babies in my spare time. Homes, spoken word, and short stories improve upon my love of words. Right at the age of 8, when I became an adult, I stopped briefly to marry my high school sweetheart to raise my girls. I started writing again, and once one of my daughters advised me of a resilience virtual event where I entered my first 3 poems. When life gets complicated, why did you do me? And the last one is why.
All right.
So that was the first time I've ever come out publicly with my poem. So I'm
excellent.
Excited about that.
And one thing, in case you're looking at Facebook,
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Right, in case you're looking at Facebook as well, Miss Elouise, cut that off so it won't interfere. So that way, because I think there's a little interference happening, but we're getting the little bits and pieces of you. So turn off your phone or your computer. You can't be on both at the same time.
Okay.
Okay, yes, much better. All right. Why don't you tell us about do you have a favorite style of writing or a book or any story you like to write? And I think we've lost her again, and I want to apologize. Technical difficulties is nothing you can do but try it again. All right, she's back. Can you hear us, Miss Elouise? Well, what I'm going to do is I was going to say caller, but then that's going to create an interference. So we may have to kind of speak on her behalf if we can't hear her clearly. But because Miss Eloise was a participant, she was one of the writers in our Love Is collection of poetry, short stories, and spoken word that she also contributed to that volume. And a little bit about her, in case you didn't get it, is that Elouise Woodard is an African American poet and writer from Newark, New Jersey. She grew up destitute but maintained a love of poetry, having hid herself from the world because she thought she wasn't good enough. And how many of you have had those thoughts sometimes when it came to your writing or maybe even some other things? And so, because Eloise stuttered as a child and had low self esteem, but she concluded that that was just an excuse. And she straightened her back, as she says, and embraced her gift, realizing who she is and what she wants, elevating to the highest level that God would allow. And so we want to celebrate you, Miss Eloise. That I'm not sure if our audio is going to work well for you in order to be able to share your story. I would be more than happy to read them for you, if that's what we're going to have to do, because we want to make the most of this. And you're a little sideways in this view, but we're going to keep going. What I can do is share your story, um, because you had the winning entrance. And so, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of take you off the screen right now, and I'm going to read. You did a series of stories in your collection called The Courage to Change as part of your short story. So, your short story called The Courage to Change, are you able to read the first one, The Freedom of Knowing? And to the audience, in case we definitely checked this before we went live, but unfortunately we're having some technical difficulties. But
Now,
are you there? Because I may have to pull you out just so, because we're still not getting you clear. And what I can do is just read your stories, and we can still celebrate you. We can keep you on screen, and I'll read your stories for you so that we don't get the interference. Okay. All right, so I'm going to share Miss Eloise's story. So her collection, her short story was about the courage to change. So I'm going to read her first story, The Freedom of Knowing. Okay, I didn't know I was me when I felt powerless and defenseless. I became invisible, trying to fill a void of not knowing who I was. This angelic voice called out to me. I could not touch or see it. The voice of the ancestors reminded me who I was. I didn't know I was me until the rain of my ancestors began to weep pain from the distant shores. I didn't know I was me until the wind carried my ancestors' spirit and forced me through the doors that once hindered me. I didn't know I was me, so I became you. I became someone I didn't recognize, afraid of what others would perceive, understand, and reflect who they think I am. I freed myself from the burdens of a label instituted as lethargic, undeserving, foolish, and mediocre. The restraint I felt from the anger that forces me to act upon impulse. I smile now in the midst of my pain because milestones are experienced early. Inequalities appear at any age. In fact, it came quite often unwelcomed. As my light shines, I unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As a dark skinned woman of God, I was too a victim that echoed frequently. Had I known I was me, I would never have met you. In the midst of becoming me, my light continued to shine in dark places. It did not silence me. In fact, it gave me strength to develop a new approach in how I represented myself. My determination was proven worthy in the midst of the dark shadows of mediocrity. My strength came with the struggles of who I am. I'm bigger than my job. I'm bigger than the color of my skin. I'm bigger than what you call me. I know who I am and I know whose I am. I met you in the absence of me. I am so much more than I thought. So that was the first part of her short story. And so you can all see the imagery of her words. You can see the amazing style and strength of character she has in the words that she has said. So, in reading The Freedom of Knowing, we get a taste of Miss Elouise. And though the technical stuff may be causing a little issues here, that we celebrate who you are and what you've been doing. Are you clear enough that you want to read your second portion of the Courage to Change?
Yes.
Okay, the voice of joy. So we hear you nice and clear now. Go ahead.
Okay. The voice of joy. I never gave up my dream of becoming a vocal sound to individuals who openly dismiss any discussion presented. Meetings were an eye opener when ideas unidentified were placed auction block,
So we're having difficulty again.
simply not accepted by the through the identifiers. Literally, I surpassed the storms in ways I
so I'm going to take over that again, and we may have to just celebrate Miss Eloise in a different way. We'll post pictures of some of her writings with her picture on there. So this piece is called the voice of joy, and she says, I never gave up my dream of becoming a vocal sound to individuals who've openly dismissed any discussions presented. Meetings were an eye opener when ideas from the unidentified were placed on auction blocks, simply not accepted by the source. I've persevered through the eyes of the identifiers placed on display, like a model on a shelf waiting to be approved and bought. Steadily, I surpassed the storms and prevailed to a level of success in lieu of skepticism. I was tested in ways I thought would be my demise to regulate the position I retained. This particular testing process brought anxiety, fear, and uncertainty, causing distress before my annual assessment review. I realized my disappointment caused a shift in the way I related to the concepts of the exam. By analyzing attentively and identifying the logic, it gave me an eye opening to reestablish myself. I've decided failure is not an option. The fourth time was a charm. Passing was the epitome of who I am and what I could do. God is my greatest cheerleader. He strengthened me when I was running low on spiritual fuel. And that was the second section of her collection called The Courage to Change. And so I'm going to read the third one. And I know her device is just kind of timed out on us, but I want to thank you all who are joining us here tonight. I'm Valerie McDowell, your writer, editor, author, book coach, and consultant. I work with writing and time challenged clients, helping them get their stories told, their books published, and their dreams fulfilled. And we are on here tonight to celebrate the winner of our Black and Lovely short story contest, Miss Elouise Woodard. She's been having some technical difficulties, so she's been a little in and out. So we apologize for that. Hopefully, we can maybe do a separate video and post that so you get the full experience of this wonderful writer and poet. And as I shared before, she was part of our Love Is collection, which we published last year. So that was a collection of poetry, short stories, and spoken word from a number of people from all over the country. So we celebrate her. And so this third piece that she's written is called Strong, Gifted, and Black. The power of the skin is a reminder of who you are. It's silky, it's soft, it's warm, and it's beautiful. My skin tells me where I've been and how strong I've become. I am the extension of my ancestors who were warriors, survivors, and powerful. When you see me, you see them, all of them, smiling, happy, and proud of the person I am today, tomorrow, and forevermore. It is because of them I stand strong, honored to tell you who I am. I am a mother, a daughter, a friend, a survivor, a sister, an auntie, and I'm God fearing. A mother who feels when her child is victimized, a daughter who protects her siblings from harm, a friend who is always there, a survivor who beat the odds, a sister who loves unconditionally, an auntie who guides and leads. And because my father delivers this last word, I am who I am. Being born Black is our only crime inside prison walls we cannot see. Survival doesn't feel free. It feels like bondage mixed with the stigma of proven guilty before proven innocent. Through it all, I persevered and moved mountains I could not see and climbed hills that were once a straight road. I've conquered my fears not because I wanted to, but because I had to. I continue to soar into greatness while greatness remains too far to touch. So we want to celebrate Miss Elouise. Let's see if we can add her back in. And Miss Elouise, I've read the third piece of Your Courage to Change. So again, I don't know if we can hear you. We'll try it one more time before we wrap up. But can you tell us a little bit about you? How did you come into writing? What made you want to write? And your journey in writing? No, it doesn't look like we're going to get that. So, but anyway, once again, we're not going to let that spoil our fun. She did win. There was a cash prize involved with this. This was one of the other parts of the prize. Plus, she gets a free consultation with me. And so, what we're going to be doing going forward is, we'll get with her separately. She's already won her prize. She's already, celebrating that part of it. And we just want to celebrate all of you who submitted to the Black and Lovely short story contest. It really made my month, to be able to take that time and read all of those wonderful submissions. And really, the stories they talked about freedom, they talked about progress, they talked about joy, all things that we're still fighting for in this country and around the world. And so, a lot of times, the things that, you're feeling, the things that you're experiencing comes through your writing. And for our poets, our spoken word artists, and our short story and authors of other types of books, we honor the gift that's inside of you. We honor your voice and we honor the ability to write your truth in stories. Also want to shout out B Sweets Ely, who was our runner-up, who did an amazing job as well with her stories. She's also a part of our collection and, has just been a wonderful part of the Book Coach Accelerator family. So we shout her out as our runner-up. And we just want to celebrate and thank all of you who have participated with us tonight. Again, we apologize for the technical difficulties on whatever's going on Miss Elouise's side. I'm sure that this is like devastating for her. But at the same time, we keep moving forward. And particularly as writers, it's just like, sometimes you got to throw the whole thing away and start again, and it's just like, but we save the good parts. We save those parts that are useful. We save those parts that are good. and we keep moving forward. And that's the key, because writing is a discipline, and for those who have worked with me, those who have been in my online course, those who are my one-to-one coaching clients, it's like we have to keep moving forward. It's like, I'm going to edit it, I'm going to change it, and we're going to change it again. We may change the title, the layout, the cover, and all the contents, move things around, or it may roll that first round out. But the thing is, your story is valuable, your story is important, your story is necessary, your story needs to be told. So if you have a book, a short story, a collection even, that you would like to get together, reach out to me. I'm Valerie McDowell, your writer, editor, author, book coach, and consultant. I will put this in, it's streaming to Facebook and YouTube. So I will put a link there in case you would like to reach out to me, that whether you want to get your book started or you need to finish it. I am your coach. I have helped so many people, and it has been my absolute honor to help you get your stories out to the world. There's so many hidden stories, so many stories that have never been told. And even today, we started the contest in Black History Month, but every year we find out more and more stories of people we never knew, people doing great and mighty things. People make an impact around the world, even if it's in your own family. The impact that one person can have on another can reverberate around the world. So I want to celebrate you all for joining us here tonight. I want to thank you for everything that you've done, celebrating our winner, Miss Elouise Woodard, and we just honor her again. We thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll see you at our next Write It Out Wednesday. So have a great evening. I'll see you soon.